Hi, everybody. It's Mary Marino back again today for the second time. And for those of you who joined me earlier this morning, I really do appreciate it. But unfortunately, I had some technical difficulties and my Wi Fi, quite frankly, wasn't working. So here I am again. Hopefully, the connection is better this time. And we're going to talk about the topic in a minute. But right now, I want to just let you know that at the beginning, when I first went live, I was telling you about some exciting stuff that's coming your way and that I've been working on. And so my website has been the focus of my attention for the past few weeks, MarionMarinoCoaching.com. And although it's not live yet, it's a lot of work and it's been a labor of love, but it is very much nearing completion. And when it's done, you'll be able to see right on my homepage and have access to a great free guide for 5 steps for navigating life's changes. You'll be able to enter your email and we'll be able to stay connected, and you'll have access to a lot of great information that I'll be posting there and communicating there. So more to come. It's under construction, and I'll keep you posted along the way. I also want to thank you all for your kind wishes. I had a terrible cold last week, and I didn't post. I didn't go live, but I was missed, really, which was really nice, and I really do appreciate all of the kind thoughts and words that came my way. So thank you, and it's really nice. It was really nice to be missed. So I wanted to just talk to you today. I don't know if anyone has seen the movie Judy with Renee Zellweger about the life of Judy Garland. Actually, it really just talks about her final year of life, and it's quite an incredible movie. She does a fantastic job, spot on Judy Garland, and really great. It is a little depressing, but what is so great about the movie for me is its references to The Wizard of Oz and the making of The Wizard of Oz, which was for Judy Garland, her first movie, made back in 1939, 80 years ago, if you can believe that, and an iconic movie, and still remains very much a favorite on everyone's must-watch list at some point, because the messaging is so impactful and powerful. The Wizard of Oz is basically a story of transition and change, right? So you have a young girl, Dorothy Gale, who is 15 years old, and she is disengaged and disillusioned and kind of losing and getting really bored with her very dull and literally black and white existence in Kansas. And she sets off to kind of spice up her life and find out and find other what the answers are, and very much a time that we all go through in adolescence. It's that transitioning into adulthood, and when we start to question what's it all about and where do I fit in and what will I do. So she's changing, right? And that's kind of sets her off onto this trajectory. And then, of course, the cyclone comes, and she's now transported into this fantastical, colorful world of Oz. And she's fearful because she's very much out of her comfort zone, right? And we all can relate to that. In new surroundings, meeting people she's never met before, and feeling very vulnerable. But she goes through it and realizes, faces her fears, the Wicked Witch of the West, right? And she meets some pretty terrifying creatures along the way. Those flying monkeys always set me off. When I was a kid, I was always scared at the flying monkeys. But, she faces her fears and she gets through it. And in the end, she realizes that really took courage, heart, and brains, all of which she possessed and she had within herself to transition and change. So while had this terrible cold last week, I was forced to stay in bed and really take care of myself because I really felt that lousy. And it got me off thinking, having had just seen the movie, thinking about The Wizard of Oz and what a great movie it was and how much I loved it and still love it today. I could watch it again today and get another message out of it. It's such a great movie. And while I was kind of at a little bit of a I related very much to Dorothy last week because I had been facing a project that was taking me very much out of my comfort zone, and it was going on for quite a number of weeks, and I had been putting it off and procrastinating, which I hate to do because I am not a procrastinator by nature. So the stress of not being able to get this project done and the procrastination really wore down my immune system, and I ended up getting a very bad cold. But more than that, when I really thought about why I was procrastinating, it was because I was afraid. I was outside my comfort zone and I was afraid. And like the Wicked Witch of the West, my fears became larger than life for me, and they paralyzed me. And those little voices in my head just kept getting louder and louder, and can you do it? And are you smart enough? And are you good enough? And all of that. And it wasn't until I really had to take stock and be alone with myself, and trying to recover from this cold, that I really started to think, what am I doing? I know I have the smarts. I know I have the heart because what I'm doing, I was really passionate about, and I wanted to get it done more than anything. And what it really boiled down to was taking that first step. And that's really all that it is. And it's facing fear and calling it out and taking that first step, because fear hates to be called out, and it runs and hides. And so that's what I did. And just like Dorothy, when watching that movie, and one of the most impactful scenes for me, even as a kid, was when she's in Munchkin Land and she puts on those red slippers, those ruby red slippers, and they take her over and they tell her, yeah, you just follow the yellow brick road. And she takes her toe of that shoe and she goes to the very beginning of the yellow brick road, which is this tiny little spot, little triangle at the beginning of the spiral, and she just takes that first little step. And I have chills recalling that, because I even as a kid, that first step was so exciting to me because I knew what was coming, and I was so excited for her that she was going to go on this journey. And really, that's what it took me. It took that first step, because once I took that step, all the power of my brain and my heart started to come through, and I got really creative, and I finished the project. And by focusing and really believing that I could do it, and I got excited while I was doing it, and all of the reasons why this project was so important to me all came pouring out. And at the end, when I was finished, I was so proud of myself for having completed it. And I really looked back and said, for God's sake, what was I so afraid of? Why did I let those fears become the Wicked Witch of the West and become larger and paralyze me? The whys don't matter. What matters is that I took that first step. So what's holding you back? What are your fears? What fears do you have, and what projects are you delaying because of that? So just some thoughts for the end of the week and this weekend. Don't forget to live with intention, lead with integrity, and learn with inspiration. See you next week.